Now, another example of this we find in 1 Samuel chapter 13. And I just titled this Saul's Impatience. Now, the background of this story is King Saul was instructed to wait for Samuel to come and to offer a sacrifice before they go into battle. So King Saul is leading the people of Israel into battle, and he's commanded to wait for Samuel to show up to make a sacrifice. Saul was not authorized to make a sacrifice. But as the enemy drew closer and his men began to scatter, Saul grew impatient. And instead of waiting on God's timing, he took matters into his own hands. Saul offered to sacrifice himself, which he was not authorized to do, which God did not tell him to do. In fact, God forbid him to do it. And just as he finished, Samuel arrived. And Samuel rebuked him. And the rebuke, I want you to hear this, was catastrophic. It was a disaster for Saul. Look at these verses. Samuel shows up, looks into the king's face, and he says, "You have done foolishly. You've not kept the commandment of the Lord your God, which he commanded you." Now look at this. What was the consequence of him doing something that God told him not to do? What was the consequence of him acting when God told him not to act? "For now the Lord would have established your kingdom over Israel forever, but now your kingdom shall not continue." What do we find here? Saul going without the Lord cost him everything. He lost favor with God. He lost the stability of the kingdom. He lost his legacy. How often do we find ourselves acting like the Israelites or King Saul? We make decisions without seeking the Lord's counsel. We move forward in relationships and jobs or life plans without praying for his guidance. We grow impatient with his timing and take matters into our own hands. Isaiah 30 reminded us that woe to those who carry out a plan, but not mine. But not mine. Woe to those who make plans that are not in alignment with God's plans. When we act impulsively or according to our own desire and step ahead of God, the results are disastrous.